Yeah. Yeah, I'm still here. Yeah, no, we're doing this. We're doing this. Edmonton. It's always fun when you get to the Canadian cities. Because, obviously it's saturated up here. And let me start off by saying I like these jerseys. I don't understand the love for the orange. I really don't. I mean, I like the orange as an alternate. I still don't understand why not just use these. I don't get it. Change for the sake of change seems weird. And the whole wall of orange. If you met Philly, Philly does orange. Don't. Anyways, whatever. It's a fait accompli. It's not my business, right? I'm a Canucks fan, so I don't know what I'm talking about. I think that ugly abomination in the corner is beautiful. So what do I know? All right. So Edmonton. They have a crossroads in terms of their contracts coming up in the next year or two. Now this year they can absorb it. They absolutely can. Returning Eberle at $6 million, Lucic at $6 million, RNH at $6 million, and Pouliot at $4 million. Right? That's $22 million for Eberle, Lucic, Nugent Hopkins, and Pouliot. Pouliot's a buyout candidate. Absolutely, I agree. There's no way Vegas touches him. He gets bought out. He's gone. All right. You got Letestu, Maroon, Sleepy Chev, McDavid, obviously still on his ELC for one more year, Kajula, who's still on his ELC, and Pakarinen, who recently re-signed for $725,000. Very decent contract. RFAs, you got Cashin. He's not getting a raise. He hasn't put up the offensive numbers to justify it. He's been more accepted in Edmonton than he ever was in Vancouver or Buffalo, but he's never going to achieve what he was expected to when he was drafted. He was expected to be this power forward Lucic type that he's not. Ironically, they're on the same team, but you can see the difference between them in terms of actual goal scoring. Draisaitl is RFA. He's going to get a lot of money. I look at Eberle and RNH making $6 million, and you could make an argument that Draisaitl's worth more. That starting in October, you're going to have McDavid line 1, Draisaitl line 2, Nugent Hopkins line 3. And that could be one of the most intimidating top 3 centers to go against in the NHL. And this is when the Edmonton Oilers make moves that take them from being a really good team, a playoff team, to actually being Stanley Cup contenders. And they can do that this offseason if they do the right things. Now, Kara also is RFA, and he's going to... I can't see him not coming back. He played really well. There was some inspiration to the fact that he's Indo-Canadian, and he scored a goal, and it's not a common thing. And it's nice to see. There's a large Indo-Canadian population, and if they play it, and also for people who are in America, you have your Native Americans, then Indos, which is actually people from India. So when I say Indo-Canadian, I mean they're actually migrants from India. Who, it's similar. It's weird because we have two groups of people that commonly get referred to as Indians. One of them are from India, and the other ones are actually native to North America. So dividing line there. And Kara, I think, could be a guy who, if he plays well in Edmonton, could definitely be one that people look at and say, hey, look what you can do. We'll see how that goes for him. And I like those kinds of stories. Those are the kinds of stories during a season that can make the drudgery of an 82-game schedule seem a lot less of a drudge. Puljujarvi I didn't mention because, of course, he's in the minors, right? Well, Puljujarvi's going to be back up with the team next year. There's no way that Jesse Puljujarvi doesn't play. Because if you're buying out Pouliot, Puljujarvi's playing. And in the draft, Edmonton's at 22. You're not getting help there. Not for this season. That pick will be in play. I'd be very surprised if Chiarelli doesn't shop it to see what he can get back in terms of depth. And it'll be young depth, but I don't think it'll be overly talented depth. I think he'll be looking more for an NHL-ready guy now to jump in and help this either forward group or the blue line. We're going to get into the blue line in a second, but they're close. The Oilers are really, really close. They push the Ducks, and in terms of teams in the league, everybody keeps telling me, well, who could knock off Pittsburgh? Give the Oilers another year with this lineup. put McDavid in a final against Crosby. You have yourself probably the best Stanley Cup final we will have seen in decades if you have them against each other. But I digress. Blue line. Sekera, who is going to start the season on LTIR. They'll have time to fix this temporarily. You got Clefbaum, Larson, Matthew Benning stepped in, played great. I was really surprised last summer the Canucks didn't get Matthew Benning since there's a family relation there. I thought Jim would have. He's a defenseman. The Canucks aren't exactly rife with young defensemen, but okay. At the time they weren't anyways. Darnell Nurse, I think, has improved a lot. He's matured a lot. He still takes the odd bad penalty, but Nurse has top 4 potential, and we'll see. He could help mitigate the temporary loss of Sekera. Reinhardt's RFA, he's not going to get a raise, but I think the Oilers are going to give him another shot. I think Griffin's going to get one more shot with Edmonton. I'd be very surprised if he didn't. This is the end. This is either he makes it or he ends up going over to Europe to play in Europe, because you can't go any further than 5 years past your draft year, and if you're still not in the NHL and you're a top 5 pick, you're done. Russell, I think, comes back. I don't know for what kind of cap hit. I think Greiba comes back too. I think Greiba was valuable enough for Edmonton, and again, Russell and Greiba are guys who kind of get talked into the ground by non-Edmonton fans who probably don't watch the games, but they were both very effective for Edmonton when they played, and I like their game a lot. I've talked about the problems with Detroit's blue line today. I've talked about the horrendous play of Dallas's blue line at times today. I'm going to talk up the blue line of Edmonton's that gets often maligned, wrongly so, and they showed it in the playoffs. Knocking out San Jose and pushing Anaheim to the limit shows that these guys are really on the cusp. And you don't beat San Jose and then push Anaheim to that limit without a good blue line. You can't. It's not all Cam Talbot. And Cam Talbot's back next year, and I think Brossoit's the backup. I get asked every now and then on videos, who do you think Edmonton's backup's going to be? Backup's the toughest question of any of them. Because some teams will wait until September to get their backup. Because they want to see during the summer which prospects are playing well, which rookies are doing well in the rookie camp, and maybe this guy can step in, and then instead of they go, screw it, we'll just give Gustafsson a shot. And sometimes those kinds of things work, and sometimes they don't. But I think Brossoit gets the shot at it. There's no cap worry with Brossoit. He's on his ELC. Or at the very least, he's not getting... I think he's... Let me go ahead and check that. If he's still ELC or just on a low salary. No, he's not on ELC, but he only makes $750,000. They've got Nick Ellis on the board here, too, at ELC $925,000. I don't know. I think Brossoit has the inside track on that. Because he's already been in the Edmonton organization for a while. And I think Chiarelli will give him the absolute best opportunity to do that. To play the backup to Talbot. Talbot's going to play 60 games. This is a really good team. The Edmonton Oilers are a very good team. They're not falling out of the playoffs next year. I'm not doing playoff projections at this point because we haven't got to the draft. We haven't done expansion. We haven't done any of that crap yet. But I'm telling you, I can't see this team falling out of the playoffs. I just can't. With the amount of growth shown by a lot of these guys, the biggest problem they're going to have is McDavid's a free agent next summer. And they're going to need all the cap space they can get. And with Draisaitl eating some up, and Talbot, I believe, is free agent. Oh, you got 2 years with Talbot. Who else is coming up? I know there's more coming up next summer. Benning and Nurse, that's not a big deal. Letestu, not a big deal. Maroon could be, depending on how he plays next year compared to this year. He's going to get a raise over his $1.5 million, I believe. Sleepy Chev will probably get a raise. Drake Caggiula will get a raise based on the way he's played so far. But, yeah, McDavid's going to be in the $10 million a year range or higher. Could be 11 or 12. I think the limit right now under the cap's $14 million. So when we complain about a guy making $10 million, it's not the cap of what guys can make. Guys can make $14 million right now under the cap. So the guys you go, oh, that's greedy, $10 million a year. Probably not. And I'm not including either in the lineup Desharnais, who's RFA, Hendricks, RFA, UFA, and Pitlick, UFA. Of the three, they could bring Darnay back, but honestly, if Draisaitl's number 2 and you have RNH at number 3, you're either converting Darnay to a winger or you're bringing him in as number 4 center. And I don't know that that's going to work. Darnay played well for Edmonton. He proved me wrong as an Oiler. Because he played well in Edmonton, you might be able to sway him to come back to Edmonton for another year. But we'll see what happens. I have full confidence that Chiarelli will make the right moves. He's made the right moves so far. And we'll see what happens. But let me know in the comment section below what you think. Don't forget to hit like and subscribe if you're browsing your way through. The like and subscribe buttons are your friend on YouTube. They really are. They're fantastic little buttons. They take you magical places. And most of them are G or PG rated. And the ones that aren't, I have nothing to do with. So, other than the odd old man cursing that may come out of me at sometimes, which is more entertaining than anything else, in general, I keep it clean. So, if you like your clean, healthy little hockey part of the internet, park yourself here. And Oilers fans, let me know what you think in the comments below, and thank you so much for watching. This is the end of my 3 previews for today. I intend to do 3 tomorrow. We'll see. I know I got a lot of overtime coming up this week. That's part of the reason I'm going through these as much as possible. We'll see how many I have the energy for tomorrow. But I look forward to talking to you again tomorrow. And I look forward to talking to you later today because I'm going to do other videos. But this is the end for the preview videos for Sunday, May 28th. Just to give people who are watching this later an idea of when this was done. May 28th, 2017. 19. My God. That'd be a way back machine, huh? So yeah, thanks for watching, and I'll talk to you all again soon.